When you think of Tiffany & Co., what's the first thing that comes to mind? For pretty much everyone, it's that little blue box, right? It's this instant symbol of luxury, elegance, and, let's be honest, desire. But what really goes into the value of the treasures inside that box? Well, it's a story that's way deeper and more fascinating than you might think. Okay, let's get into it.
So, take a look at this. This is the Medusa pendant, and at auction, it sold for nearly £3 million. So that's the big question, isn't it? Why? What on earth, what combination of history, materials, and pure artistry can make one piece of jewelry worth that much money? That's the mystery we're going to solve right now. To really understand the value of Tiffany's today, we've got to go back, like way back, to the very beginning. And trust me, the company that became this global symbol of luxury, it started out as something completely different.
What's so wild about this timeline is the journey. It all kicks off in 1837, not as a jeweler, but as a stationery shop. It wasn't until 1853 that Charles Tiffany took the reins and made that game-changing pivot into jewelry. From there, it's just this incredible story of ambition, snagging the legendary Tiffany diamond, opening that world-famous Fifth Avenue store, and eventually the massive $15 billion acquisition by LVMH.
The sheer scale of that journey is just staggering. On their very first day of business, they made $4.98. Just think about that. Compare that to today, where the brand is valued in the billions. That isn't just growth, that's like building an empire from pocket change.
So how in the world did they pull it off? Well, even back in the 19th century, Charles Tiffany was a bit of a revolutionary. While every other shop was haggling over prices, he put a stop to all that. He implemented a strict, non-negotiable price policy. Period. And he refused all credit. These moves were totally unheard of, but they built this powerful reputation for integrity and quality. And that mail-order catalog from 1845, that was the very first Blue Book, an idea so good it's still a part of the brand today.
Okay, so we've set the stage with the history and that foundation of trust. Now, for the really fun part, let's see how that legacy translates into these mind-boggling, multi-million-pound price tags. We are going to dissect what makes these pieces so incredibly valuable.
So, the first ingredient in the secret sauce is pure, unfiltered artistry. We're talking about a vision so unique and a craft so perfect that the piece becomes a one-of-a-kind work of art. And there is no better example than the pendant we started with.
And just to remind you, what we're talking about here? £2.9 million. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't just an accessory, it's a masterpiece that collectors are willing to pay an absolute fortune for.
The value starts with who made it and how. It was designed by Louis Comfort Tiffany. Yep, the founder's own son and an absolute legend of an artist. Just look at the details. The opal, the gold, the garnet. But the real X factor, the thing that just blows you away, is that incredible serpentine design. Get this, some of the snakes are even articulated, which means they move. This isn't just jewelry, it's basically a kinetic sculpture.
But, value isn't always about what a person can create. Sometimes it's about owning something that nature itself made in a near-perfect, almost impossibly rare form. And that brings us to our second case study.
Okay, now look at this ring. We're talking over £1 million. And while the design is classic Tiffany, the real magic here, it's buried deep inside that gorgeous blue stone.
So the secret to its value? It's all about where it came from. This 8-carat sapphire is from Kashmir, a region famous for producing the rarest and most vibrant true blue sapphires in the entire world. And on top of that, Gem Reports found it had 0 enhancements. That means its color and clarity are 100% natural, a level of perfection that is just unbelievably scarce. You're not just buying a gem, you're buying a geological miracle.
All right, so we've covered artistry and rarity. The third and final ingredient in our value formula is the sheer power of a name. When a specific designer hits legendary status, their signature alone can add immense value.
This necklace right here, it's the perfect example. It's sold for over £400,000, and a huge chunk of that value is tied directly to the person who designed it.
The designer was this guy, Jean Schlumberger, a total giant in the world of jewelry. He was so revered, so important, that he got to do something almost no one else at the company could. He was given the rare privilege of actually signing his work.
That signature is a mark of genius, a guarantee of a very specific, celebrated style that collectors hunt down.
So we've looked at these incredible individual pieces, but there's one thing that unites everything Tiffany & Co. does, an asset so powerful it's recognized instantly all around the globe. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the color.
Officially, it's known as 1837 blue, a cool nod to the company's founding year. But this specific shade of robin's egg blue, well, it isn't just a color, is it? It's a promise. It represents almost 2 centuries of luxury, quality, and aspiration, all captured in a single hue.
And believe me, this was no accident. Its status was carefully and strategically built over time. It first showed up on that Blue Book catalog way back in 1845. Then it became the color of the box itself. And then, in 1998, Tiffany & Co. made the ultimate power move. They copyrighted the color, making it legally theirs. I mean, what a masterstroke of branding.
So, when you put all these pieces of the puzzle together, the history, the artistry, the materials, the branding, you really start to understand the true source of Tiffany's immense value and its lasting power.
At the end of the day, the price of a Tiffany piece isn't just for gold and gems. As we've seen, it's a whole formula. You're paying for a history that started with less than $5 in sales, for the genius of artists like Louis Comfort Tiffany and John Schlumberger, for a miracle of nature from Kashmir, and for all the cultural power that's wrapped up in that little blue box.
Which really leaves us with one final question to think about. When you buy from Tiffany's, are you just buying something beautiful to wear? Or are you actually buying a small piece of a legendary, enduring story?